Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. This is the DC Shorts on YouTube.
I don't think I have it in me to...
This is a trans influencer. That's actually a woman. Or, she was born a woman, now she's a guy.
I just don't think I have it in me
a trans
to
guy.
Try to help society understand how we treat men is like so dangerous to men, because nobody told me how lonely being a man is. And then to have all these comments about, justifying the coldness to men, which is valid. But to just be remembered like, oh, that's right, everybody just sees you as the villain.
Why is that valid? Did she actually say that? I'm going to call her now, from now on, because she's a bitch.
To men, which is valid.
What?
And to have all these comments about, justifying the coldness to men, which is valid.
That's valid? It's okay, huh? To justify evilness. What the...
But to just be remembered like, oh, that's right, everybody just sees you as the villain.
Yeah, let's all remember that when it comes to verbal abuse, it's 80% time it's the woman. Physical abuse, 80% of the time it's the woman. When divorces, the woman, depending on the year, 70 to 80% of the time, woman leaves for zero reason, always for that no-fault thing. Relationships, women leave 90% of the time, okay? Now, I'm tired of this crap where all the stats say that women are doing all the horrible stuff that they're saying men are doing. It's ridiculous.
But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what death felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to have people want to hug us.
I thought all the trans people were unsafe. But I see all these videos, all these trans men are crying because they can't handle being a man.
But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what death felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to have people want to hug us.
If they're so unsafe, you know what I mean? He's saying when he was just trans, non-binary or whatever, when he, in his transitioning or whatever, he get hugs all the time as a trans person. That's all I hear from the.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. And then to have all these comments about, justifying the coldness to men, which is valid. But to just be remembered like, oh, that's right, everybody just sees you as the villain.
Why is that valid? Did she actually say that? I'm going to call her now, from now on, because she's a bitch.
To men, which is valid.
What?
And to have all these comments about, justifying the coldness to men, which is valid.
That's valid? It's okay, huh? To justify evilness. What the...
But to just be remembered like, oh, that's right, everybody just sees you as the villain.
Yeah, let's all remember that when it comes to verbal abuse, it's 80% time it's the woman. Physical abuse, 80% of the time it's the woman. When divorces, the woman, depending on the year, 70 to 80% of the time, woman leaves for zero reason, always for that no-fault thing. Relationships, women leave 90% of the time, okay? Now, I'm tired of this crap where all the stats say that women are doing all the horrible stuff that they're saying men are doing. It's ridiculous. The whole school comes out and saying how they're unsafe. How are they unsafe if the whole school is literally protesting for you? How is that possible? But yeah, they're so unsafe.
And to have people want to talk to us, and to have a community, and then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build, and people are colder. I I joke that I had closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning. Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep than men.
No, they're not. They're not more deep. I have freaking literally sat there for 30 minutes to 40 minutes just wondering. Okay, one time I had a group of women in the room. You know what I mean? The cat, right, had a little, pattern on his fur or whatever. Kind of looked like a lion or whatever kind of animal it looked like. You know what I mean? It wasn't that great of a, resemblance. It wasn't like you were like, oh my God, geez. It was just a little bit. They talked about it for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, I'm so tired of this. They're just so deep. They're so deep. I've listened to their conversations. They're not deep. They're talking about what they ate today, and they talked about it for an hour.
And what's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid.
This guy is such a racist piece of garbage. What's funny is all these marginalized people, they're all supremacists. They all have more rights than us, and they still want more? What we gave them, we already gave them more than we have, but they're not happy with that. But they're all, it's valid. God, I'm so happy. I didn't even listen to this that good the last time. I'm glad that this woman is unhappy as hell. She deserves to be, because she's racist against men. She's racist against white people, apparently, too. She's racist against everybody.
But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Yeah, duh.
Because this shit is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really...
Now, this is a woman. She knows how to... This is what kills me. She knows how to make female friendships. She doesn't know how to make male friendships because she's not a man. She just looks like a man because she did surgery or whatever, hormones. Right?
I think women actually don't want equal treatment. They couldn't handle it if they got it, quite a number of them. It's a tough world out there. What a lot of women are actually asking for, and you can look aghast at this, is special treatment. If you look at all female shortlists for positions, is that equal treatment or is that special treatment? I think what women need to realise is that you have to toughen up. We can't ask for equal pay. You have to be paid on performance, and you have to be paid for the results you deliver. It's a tough world out there, and I don't think Karen Brady and others are doing us any favours by putting this sort of debate out there. I think we have to just compete in what is a tough world, and I think we need to keep that. We need to look after it. Do we want a world that's completely void of colour? Do we want everything to be magnolia? No, we don't.
You're getting bombarded by the needs of women. Women are so needy and picky, and they have a list of like 5,000 things that they want from men. And yet no man is ever going to live up to this fantasy expectation. So they're lonely.
I mean, yeah. It sounds like a majority of them aren't getting help for those issues. And even when they are getting help, it probably is not taken the same way it is with women. Women, it's always like, oh, they're hysterical, we need to help calm them down. Whereas a man can very calmly say, I'm going through the worst time of my life, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And people just say, well, you need to toughen it up, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, get out there, be a productive, high-value man. You can do it, just don't even think about your mental health issues.
Like, there's toxic masculinity, and I feel like that's usually when I look at a person, I'm like, okay, that, like, the masculinity is showing, you know? That's why I'm like, in moderation.
Wait, so you're saying when masculinity is apparent or showing, that equals toxic masculinity?
No, it's just sometimes it's, like, a little excessive, and that's usually when I, like, notice it.
What?
See, everything that a man does is defined as a horrible, horrible, mean thing.
What is excessive masculinity?
You know, like, I need this, like, big old car. It's like, okay, you're compensating for something.
Compensating for what?
A lot of things, I can tell you that much.
Go ahead. Go ahead. List it.
I mean, probably, like, their low self-esteem. And maybe their tiny dicks. Can I say that?
Sure.
Okay.
Tiny dicks. So do women who want nice cars, do they have loose pussies?
No, they got paste.
So it's only bad if men have a desire for material goods?
No, these are all just like really misogynistic. I don't necessarily need a man to tell me. I also have females who can support me. I feel like women and men can both provide that.
Notice how the whole time these women, they just berate the guy, and the guy's just like talking normal or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wait,
So I don't
what
know.
is misogynistic about his statement here?
Well, I don't know why it has to be a man.
How do you define misogyny?
I don't know. I don't like this.
What?
What's funny is they never even know the definitions of the words that they use on a daily, on a minute basis. Every minute they're using the misogynist. And I haven't... 99 out of 100 women that use that word every second, they don't even know what it means.
I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
She's crying.
Can I go?
See these non-binaries? See how pretty she is? You know, and you'll think, you know, just like all my non-binary family. They're all, a lot of them are women, you know what I mean? They're all pretty. They're all pretty. You know. They don't look the part. Like, you can't tell that they're non-binary. But all it takes to be non-binary is this crap where, you know what I mean, where you're not being in your place. And it's not that men have to, it's not the men, it's the women. And we know it. Every time they have to have that leader. We know that. Every one of them has. They will not accept you if you're not in your place. They won't.
Are you okay? Like, do you want to go as in leave? Is it because I asked how you define misogyny?
What the heck, man? It's like they can't take anything. No stress at all. All he's doing is asking like a couple questions, and she's like breaking down after berating everybody. You know what I mean?
Women, if not saying that's who I am, but if one day I don't want to work, I'm sure I can find a dude that's going to take care of me.
Absolutely.
Just for that, I'm like, yo, I'm kind of lucky to be a woman. I believe it's harder to be a man at all times. I believe that men have it the hardest when it comes to just life in general, because nobody's going to save you. As far as like us women, if not saying that's who I am, but if one day I don't want to work, I'm sure I can find a dude that's going to take care of me.
Absolutely.
Just for that, I'm like, yo, I'm kind of lucky to be a woman.
Here's the difference between men and women, right?
Oh.
Men must earn everything because no one's going to give a guy shit. No one gives a shit about a man unless he provides value. A woman, on the other hand, she doesn't have to be provide value, but she will still be cared for. When the Titanic went down, they didn't say, oh, men off the boat too. No, they said women and children. Why? Because women have inherent value from a biological sense. So women always have value. Men only have value if they create something.
Okay.
We are not the same. And that's okay. I'm not saying that I'm pissed off about it or whatever, but I acknowledge the facts and I acknowledge the truth. That men must work for their value, women don't.
Okay. Can I ask you something?
What?
You want a woman that brings value, right? And that's the one that just gets pretty and knows how to get dressed up and stuff. You want her to bring value to the table, correct?
Of course. What I personally want, like,
What do you
just because I
personally
say I want a girl to bring value, doesn't necessarily mean that every girl brings value to every
But
man. Most men are very simple and will take a nice girl
Most
that has
men-
nice tits and nice ass, and that's it, and they won't
But if
care.
you're sitting around and
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure, right? Like, none of this stuff in the studio is built or maintained by women. Do you know that, like, 90% of infrastructure jobs are still held by men? So if the men are the ones tasked with, every time there's a natural disaster, they have to go out and rescue people from the fires and the floodwaters, and every time there's a war, the men have to go and fight it and defend the country, and anytime there's a criminal who needs to be violently arrested, it's going to be a man who goes and does that, not a woman. We're